living in the US, there is an additional burden of, the child is American. How much have we become American? How much has my spouse become American versus Indian? And is there a tussle around that?
100%, right? Like when I was like 25 or 26, I did my MBA here in the US, and I met many people who were born and raised here, right? So I kind of could see what it meant to be a Indian origin person being raised in America. And one of my first observations was that, when you see someone who looks like you, immediately assume that you will connect and like you will be friends. And then, sometimes when we would start to talk, and I'd be like, wow, I'm not finding any common ground with this human who looks exactly like me, whose parents probably had a fairly similar upbringing as my parents. And I think that did like instill like some doubt and fear of like, what would it mean to have a child who's raised here, and how much will they relate to like my world, and where I come from, and have empathy and connection for like their parents. So it weighed on me even before Neil was born. I would often think maybe we should go back to India and have a child. Like I felt like I may not relate to my child. Like I had all kinds of like foundational questions. But after the child is born and as you start raising a child, you realize like the bond that a parent and child shares is like irrespective of like where you were raised and where they were raised. So I'm a very anxious person, so I tend to like think worst case. So I at least like that got a little corrected and calibrated. I saw some kids who were raised here and they did not like where their parents came from. And so when I try to like really understand what drove that, I think when a culture is heavily enforced on the child and there is no connectivity between the world that they experience in their house versus the world that they step outside in, I think it can create resentment for what is being enforced upon them. And so the one thing like both Adi and I knew was that we will not enforce, we will expose and let him embrace what he